Ladies and gentlemen, I am Melvin Banks.
This is Ito.
We are the Carbonation Conversation, reviewing a brand new TV series,
Archive
Netflix
81.
And before we get into that, let's take this time to shout out to Mo Beats 89. If you like what you hear in the background, as far as music production and audio editing, he has our new music for the season in the background playing right now. Definitely hit Mo up in the description below, Mo Beats 89, and we are back with some good old Carlsberg.
Oh yeah.
Happy New Beer. What I forgot to do. God damn it, I forgot to pour the shots.
We'll pour the shots right now while I start off talking about mine.
Go ahead. As Melvin is in the background, pouring some shots to do the shout out. Ito, take it away.
Well, episode 1 of Archive 81 is called Mystery Signals. Okay, this show stars a guy named Mahmoudou Afi.
Did I hear you correctly fumble on a name?
I mean, yes, that was
yeah, I see it.
Mahmoudou.
I didn't.
I don't even know if that's how it right.
I didn't want none of it. I saw it. I was just like, yeah, I'm not having that. And it is directed by Rebecca Thomas. She's done Stranger Things. I was taking a brief look at her directing.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to burp. Her directing, and she's done Stranger Things. A few other things I can't think of, but Stranger Things definitely popped out.
Yeah.
Popped out.
And I was trying to I know he looked kind of familiar to me, and the only thing I could think of that I saw him in that I saw was the Get Down. I don't know if you can remember you saw that.
I think so, but I actually haven't. I haven't seen the Get Down.
Apparently he's going to be in the new Jurassic Park movie as well.
Oh, okay. What do you think about that Jurassic Park? You done with that series? I mean, I'm not saying...
I'm not like, I gotta go. I'm not gonna go to the theaters to watch it. I'll tell you that much.
Okay.
I'm not.
So
I want to go to the theaters.
I can't make you go.
I mean, if you pay for it.
Okay, I'll pay you. Maybe we'll go review Jurassic Park, but that's good.
A beer, a ticket, and a blunt.
Yeah, hey. You know what? We can definitely make that happen. You know what? I'll take a shout out for that. Thanks for listening to the Carbonation Conversation.
It also stars Dina Shahabi. She is from, I've seen her before too. I know she looked familiar. She actually played in one of the seasons in the Daredevil show. She was actually in there. Nothing major. Okay. But she was in there. She was also in Altered Carbon, the first season of that.
One of the actors that I noticed, Martin Donovan.
He's like the main dude. I was waiting. I was going to say him next.
Oh, okay.
Out of him, he's like the one guy everybody should know who the hell he is.
Yeah, I remember him in Weeds because I remember I used to like that show. I remember him in Boss, Kelsey Grammer, when he was the mayor of Chicago. Yeah. Seriously underrated show, by the way.
Yeah, he was in Tenet also.
Exactly. And apparently Big Little Lies. So he's been around.
That's what I'm saying.
He's a very, very...
He was a regular in Law and Order SVU as well.
Oh.
That's where I really knew him from.
Okay. I did not know that. SVU was always too much sex and rape. I mean, I get it. It's a sexual victims unit, but Jesus, come on.
And he was an Ant-Man.
I prefer me some goring Law and Order Criminal Intent. But let's talk about the movie. So Ito hits me up and he goes, Melvin, check out this movie. I was like, okay, cool.
Series.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Check out this series. See if you like it. And if you like it, let's start to review. And I was like, cool, let me check it out. And I will say the first episode, if I had one word fitting for this episode, it would be intrigued. I am so interested.
And I already knew you would. Like, I know you, so I'm like, I figured.
It reminds me of like a Black Mirror beginning episode where I'm just like, what's going on? I'm so interested. And so
it's crazy. It opens basically just with a recording. You see a woman. She's in a stairwell.
found footage type of thing.
Some found footage type of thing. It kind of goes back. Then when it backs up, she's breathless, out of breath, and scared. Mm-hmm. She's saying, "Get off me! Get off me!"
Where's Jess?
Where's Jess? Looks at the screen. Find me! Come find me! Then it turns off.
And I was just like, okay.
Are
you as much as I don't like that whole beginning to movies, like I told you, this type of beginning, I don't see a lot anymore,
a little different, right?
I was like, okay, I'm digging it. We're going to find you. Let's see what's going on. And then we jump to Dan.
Dan Turner, he's a film preservationist.
Yes.
Okay,
I didn't even know that was a job.
Yeah, so
awesome.
You find old damaged films, restore them for whoever. So his boss, his lady Karen, wants him to restore this tape by the next day.
Yeah, but he
ASAP.
Can't copy it.
Can't copy it. It's confidential. So she needs to be done.
And it was funny because I was wondering, like, when you restore, like, do you need to watch it? Like, is that mandatory? But I would say just to make sure the fixed, video.
Right.
So I was like, man, you're looking at some private things when they're telling you to restore some shit. You don't know what you're getting ready to watch. Tapes, right. Go ahead,
So yeah, he goes home and works on the tape. And tape, you see the girl from the opening clip, and her name is Melody. Mm-hmm. She had a doctoral candidate at NYU.
Yeah, her friend Annabelle is recording her in the mirror.
Her best friend and roommate, Annabelle. She basically wants to study cultural shifts in a building known as Vista in the East Village.
That is so interesting. That just projected me. I was like, wow, cultural shift. Like, how can like a whole community and a whole culture stay in one area and then all of a sudden fucking move?
Exactly.
Like, that's interesting. I was just like, huh.
So Dan does a little research and finds out that the building that she wants to research was built on a burnt building.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And so he's restoring, and he brings it back. I believe he brings it back. Is this the point where he's talking to his coworker when they're watching the black and white?
Yes.
That's not the one that he was fixing.
No, right.
Was that the one that he was fixing?
I can't remember.
Okay, but anyway, you're seeing this, bro. You put that shit on my TV in the middle of the night, black and white horror, that type of cult.
Right, yeah.
That is intense because they're just like, oh, yeah, they're films, 1920s, 30s. I'm like, are they films? Do you remember how we were back then?
Right.
But go ahead.
But then, what's it called? Then his boss tells him that the tape is from a huge donor, and the donor wants to thank him personally.
Yes.
The guy's name is Virgil Davenport,
and that's played by Martin.
Exactly.
At first, I didn't know what time we were in. Like, if we were modern, if we were like in 2022.
Yeah, we are 2021 at the time.
Because at the beginning, he's the guy, tapes. I got tapes.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, okay, he can't be talking about VHS, so he got to be talking about at least music tapes, cassette tapes. But that's so
film,
interesting.
Either one, truthfully,
bro. I swear to God, if there was somebody on the corner selling tapes that you could just buy a VCR and put in and see what you see. We could do a whole podcast on that. Just like, fuck.
Right.
Go ahead. Happy New Year.
Right. Happy New Year. So Davenport offers Dan $100,000 to basically restore the remaining tapes. Mm-hmm. But he must work remotely in the Catskills.
Yes, because apparently the tapes are in such bad condition that they can't be moved.
They don't want them to be moved. Exactly. And
it is a very secluded area. And he starts, I like how when Dan came in, he's like, oh, I want an Arnold Palmer. Isn't that a drink, like alcohol? Or is that just like some Caucasian
I think Arnold Palmer is iced tea mixed with lemonade.
What in the fuck? That's such a badass name for no alcohol in the drink. Wow.
It's a golfer.
I had no idea that's what it was. Fun. I love it that you're so damn knowledgeable. And we do see Virgil starting to show signs that he knows about Dan, because
he brings up his past. Basically.
Yeah, he's like, I would think you would like to do this because you like to recover things. He mentions the fact that his family, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, died in a fire.
Yeah, died in a fire.
Yes, his family died in a fire, and he is very devastated from that.
It prompts him just to leave, basically.
Yeah, because we can tell that he's a bit of a standoffish guy. Yeah. Like, he has his friends and stuff, but he doesn't really seem social, like the type of guy to be like, what's up?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
He's more of a serious introvert type of person.
Very conservative guy. He storms out. He ends up meeting his friend, which I can't think of the name of, but the friend that has the podcast.
Yeah. What's his name? Mark.
And by the way, did you know this was based on a podcast?
No.
I did. I was literally looking this shit up right now, and it was like, based on a podcast by Daniel Powell and Mark Solinger, which is probably why they did the podcast thing, maybe in episode 1. That was interesting because they were like, where are we? And then you hear the footsteps, and obviously when you're watching this, you're like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what are we doing? And he's like, thanks for doing the pod. And he's like, thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. But he also has an audience.
Right.
So I'm just like, I can listen to that, but how could I watch that? Like, see somebody get 2 shoes and just... it's just weird. It was just fucking weird. But he was telling stories about, his friend Mark was telling stories about the ring. Lady put on the ring and she was getting haunted. So he's really into the paranormal and shit like that. And one thing that he does mention when Mark is telling him, when Dan is telling him about this whole situation, he goes, you tell me if you're gonna, if you're gonna have a lapse, right? He says something along this. Mm-hmm. So it's letting us know he probably had a fucking mental breakdown. At some point
he's been through
life.
Something, right?
Yeah,
definitely.
And so he go to sleep and then he has
a nightmare. Yeah, Dan has a nightmare of the family of the fire that killed his family. Basically,
wakes up and then decides to look at the recording
again. Wakes up, look at the recording again, and notices a picture of Melody with what seemed like was his childhood dog.
Yeah.
So that kind of like threw him off. And that's what made him take the job.
Mm-hmm. Which was interesting. So I'm assuming after the family died, he had to give the dog away, maybe became an orphan or...
the dog died.
Yeah.
No, he was walking the dog.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's why I was like, why would that be your dog? But I was like, okay, I guess I could see that.
I think he recognized the collar. That's what got to him, the collar. And
even his friend who believes in paranormal shit was just like, bro, you reaching, and that's just my hobby. So you know. I was like, damn, bro. Like, that can't... If you believe in the paranormal, you just can't stop believing in the paranormal, my dude. I'm just throwing it out there. But anyways, he's not driving. He gets a taxi out there. They take him out to this very beautiful, I will say, the area, the building, the structure.
Like, I want to call it a cabin. Like, it's more than that.
It's like
the Victorian.
Yeah, it's you know what I'm saying? He's like, it's so old that we can't get internet and all of this stuff, which was a big red flag to me.
Yeah, when he said no internet, no cell service,
and we got this landline. I was just like, and no offense, I am gonna say to Dan Turner, such an American name, by the way. I know you seen Get Out, my dude. You know what I'm saying? You go into a secluded place.
That's not supposed to exist in this realm, Melvin.
$100,000. Okay. Fuck it. I don't give a fuck. I guess if somebody offered me $100,000, right?
Doing what he loves to do.
Yeah, so he goes over there, and the first thing I noticed was the gate opening and closing. I was like, he done fucked up.
You overthinking it
already. And he pulls up, and like we said, like, he ain't got no internet. He got the landline. He got the keys to the area, and like, man, the place is fucked. For it to not hold no internet because apparently it ain't modern, the shit looks beautiful.
Right. I'm about modern. I guess it's just the location.
Yeah, that's what it looks beautiful. And before he leaves, before Virgil leaves him, he's like, hey, you got everything you need. And he even tells him, here are the tapes. But he specifically says, here's the camcorder. You shouldn't need it, but here it is. So, I mean, Spidey sense is going out. You know what I'm saying? And as he's leaving, he goes, here is what I can assume is a life alert. You push this. If you need anything, holler at me. He does say you get deliveries once a week. Anything you need, bro. Cognac, finest, all day Wagyu.
Damn right,
bro. Like Wagyu. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let me get that. Let me get on your time. Okay. But yeah, and that's when Virgin mentions that they have also mental support.
Right.
And Happy New Year.
Another red flag.
Dan loses his shit. He goes, oh, you want a piss sample too? Like,
right.
And Virgil's just like, hey, bro, we did a thorough background check. I don't know what to tell you. This is business.
Exactly.
And he basically leaves. And at first, one thing I noticed when Dan came down there, he is just like me. I'm interested in everything.
Yep, so start looking around.
You know what I'm saying? He's looking around, and then he sees this glass door. Was it tapes in there? I don't know what the fuck was in there.
It wasn't tapes.
Okay, so he looks. There's obviously something in there, and he tries to use. I don't know if they gave him a card, a key. He tries to use it. Doesn't work. He's just like, you go lock it up, motherfucker. I understand, like, hey, I got you. And he starts to
clean and watch the second tape. The next tape, right?
Now, the second tape is Melanie actually getting to
Melanie begins her project. Runs into a janitor who already advises her stay off the 6th floor.
Man, they didn't even look like they wanted her to come in. At first, they was like, you coming in? No, close the door at first. She's like, no, I'm good. Don't you see me recording, motherfucker? Because she's talking about it and shit, And it is in New York, which... You know what? Let's just keep going. I don't want to say nothing bad about New York.
1994.
Okay, it's 1994. Yes. Okay, cool. And so, like you said, the janitor's like, hey, don't go to the 6th floor. And then she's asking him, like, hey, I'm interested, At first, he seems cool. He's like, oh, yeah, my mom used to record,
Yeah, I mean, he looked a little, like, angry at first, but he started talking a little bit.
And then after she talked to him about interviewing people, he just straight shut, don't go to the 6th floor.
Don't go to, right.
If anything else, if you need anything else, I need it in writing. I was like, damn, bro, like, really? Writing this 1994? I guess, right?
Yeah, back. There were no cell phones.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you get mad, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get my typewriter out here.
I'm surprised no one had a beeper. No.
Right, man. It's so funny because it's a certain type of viewer that loves that shit. Those 1994 little things. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
Tupac in the background.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, ooh, I remember when I had that same hairstyle or wore similar clothes to that type of shit. But it was so funny because I didn't even think about none of that shit when I was watching it.
Of course.
And as the first night, is it the first night she gets there? She thinks she hears something,
right? At night, she hears a distant chanting coming from the vents. As soon as she goes to the vent, opens up, it goes away. Mm-hmm. And then she's like, hello?
And I thought something was gonna...
And all of a sudden, some high-pitched ass sound comes that makes Dan throw off his headphones while he's watching the video.
Exactly. And he's just like, whoa. And, hey, after I just did the first video and she did that, would you be calling them saying, you know what, bro, you can keep that $100,000 and that cognac and that Wagyu? After the first video.
Not just yet.
Okay. Because I'm just like, you by yourself too, bro? It just takes the type of, like, I love working. Like, I was just like, damn, let me see if I can get that job. I don't like working with no fucking body. Shit. That shit looks, I'm not saying easy, but I've never even heard of that before.
Happy New Year. Yeah, it's crazy.
And so then is that when he starts to continue the tape and it shows her?
Yeah, the next day, basically, she starts knocking on doors, try to talk to people. Everybody's giving her the cold shoulder. No one wants to talk to her. And that's when she meets Jess.
Yes, she's
girl
so cute.
That basically she runs errands for people that live in the Visser because nobody leaves the Visser. Apparently. So she runs all the errands.
Another red flag.
Exactly.
I was like, no one leaves the Visser. And she does say something really specific. Jess does. She's like, I tend to their needs.
Yeah.
I was like,
Is it, you see all the red flags?
Yeah.
A little here and there.
Just little. And I love it. That's wonder, what made me.
And you wonder, like, why is Melody there? Why is she doing this? You know what I mean? All these little red flags, you still there. Like, you're over here talking about Dan, like, would you stay there? Like, shit, if you were Melody, would you still have stayed in this with all these little red flags?
You know? It reminds me of...
So it's like, she's got to have some kind of agenda.
And one thing I really, really love, it gave me goosebumps. You know what I'm saying? Like, it reminded like Candyman-esque when little white girl was going through the community and shit like that.
And project.
Exactly. It was...
Or you looking for Candyman, bitch.
I know, right? and man, it was so good. I was so in it with Melody. Right. Like, I'm into her story. You know what I'm saying? Like, and she...
And you ain't seen nothing yet.
Spoiler alert, he's seen it all, you know. But yeah, I was into it because I'm to be honest, I'm more intrigued about Melanie's story than Dan at this moment. Yeah. And so she convinces Jess by offering her $25 a week, which is, and you know, 94.
Right, for a little, so
you know what I'm saying? Exactly.
Girl, to basically escort her around and introduce her to people. You know. Yeah, so the first person she meets is this girl Tamara, who was an opera composer. She plays some music for Melody, and it's the same tune that she heard from the vents.
Yeah. And not only is she an opera singer, she's like a fucking dense, depressive ass opera singer. She's just like, this is like
it's just called Purgatory.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And she's like, we wear these masks, and she points to the fucking mask, and they look like ghouls and shit. Right. She's like,
V for Vendetta? What the fuck is that?
Exactly. And the music, even when you hear like, I don't really understand opera. I'm not saying I never will. Maybe I'm just
but to me, when I heard that didn't sound like opera.
Bro, you know that sounded like some shit that you would see on the Ring playing in the background when you put the tape in the VCR.
But it was like that. Apparently, Melody listened to it. It gave her some kind of panic attack.
Yep, and she went down. She was like, don't you feel that? And I could imagine because I was feeling that. I was feeling that pressure. I was like, bro, turn this shit off. It was just I wasn't going. I was just like, turn this shit off. And then don't we continue the Melanie story?
Then right there is when what's his name? Dan calls Mark to have him to see if he could find out who Tamara is, if he could look for her, Google her or something, see if she's somebody that's still around or she's made some music.
Yes,
because
I remember
there's something about that tune.
Yeah, and he's also getting bad reception too because he has to go out into the middle of the forest.
On that phone, right? No, not even that. On the phone call, because that was a landline. Remember, there's no cell service.
Okay.
And that landline, he heard noise, so he realized that they're listening to him. And Davenport, Virgil, whatever, listening to him. So that's when he went to the forest and, try to get a signal.
Okay, I want to say, I think he went to the forest twice in this.
The first time he didn't get, I think the second time he went farther out, but that's later.
Okay, go ahead. Continue.
So Dan calls Mark to search, just to have him search for that. He finds it, but then he's like, while he's watching the tapes or while he's calling Mark or who it is, he hears a noise. It's a damn rat. So he decides to lay traps all around the crib for this rat.
Yeah.
What else? Oh, he starts watching a movie. That's what it was.
Yeah.
He went and found a movie to watch, Solaris. I don't know why, but while watching that movie, that's when he hears a rat. Lays the traps down. Has another dream about his childhood, about the fire,
walking the dog.
And then when he wakes up to the rat squealing from one of the traps. So he ends up saving the rat, put it in the box, and you know, I'm a really rat person, but you stay here until your tail
he's alone and
right.
shit. Yeah, you know, he's like, yeah, we in this together, right, bro? Yeah, and then doesn't he? While the rat say he starts watching the videos again. Is that the second time he starts watching the videos?
Yes.
And so
that's when it jumps to Melody,
and she's interviewing Jess,
who says she was born in a stairwell in a visor.
Yeah, and I mean, do you want another shot?
I'll take another one.
And this is where it gets pretty interesting because Jess, Melody is, like you said, Melody is wondering what drew people there, this building. And the way she phrases the shit is so weird. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, me and you get an apartment together, we've lived together, you know what I'm saying? No one would ever ask, well, what drew you to Winchester?
Exactly.
$700 rent? Like, you know what I'm saying? Availability, a lot of space. You know, you don't think of an essence or something draw. You were meant to be here for these years, but that's the way that Melody is approaching it. And Jess actually responds. She gives her a response like that. She says, she says something along the lines of, they're drawn here.
Yes, basically. And they're drawn here. And basically she starts rambling about something else that has Melody, you know, gets like, who, you know, people think I'm weird and stuff like that. And I don't know if I'm strong. You think I'm strong enough to hold a whole new world inside of me? Yeah, and then all of a sudden she looks up in the corner of her eye. Did she stand up or is she backing up in the chair? She stood up.
She stood up? Okay. Happy shout out? Happy
shout out.
Happy shotty shot.
Happy new beer.
Yeah, exactly.
So Jess starts having a seizure.
And it is a standing seizure, the most terrifying
she's going crazy,
seizure you can ever have.
She starts that. She stands and then ends up falling. The film starts to distort. And Dan's just looking at the screen. Next thing you know, this crazy ass face
bursts out.
Alien looking ass face.
And it's so funny that you say that's the only way I can describe it.
Yeah.
Why is the only word it can be described as alien?
Because that's how it looks. The head shape. It reminded me of the aliens from Independence Day.
You know what? And that made me feel like I was like, is this the fourth kind type of shit?
Right. So that was freaking out. Then is when I would have been like, if I was Dan, like, do I really want to stay with this? Like, this is when I would have questioned.
No, I mean, because he stepped back like I stood back. I was watching this shit at like 12 at night, had all the lights. I was like, oh, Patty's like, you okay? I was like, I'm good. But it's dang good.
Right, like shit.
Like, yeah. And basically, he proceed to still watch it?
Well, first, I think I forget what he does, but then he thinks about his sister and him at the piano.
The piano table, and they're playing a specific
the same fucking tune.
I did not know that.
And the father comes in like, "Why are you playing that? Where'd you hear that from?" Type of thing. Stop playing that. That was the same tune.
Know that? Yes. Very, very fucking interesting here. I did not pick that up. Good shit. I'm glad you said that. And at one point,
go ahead.
He goes back out into the forest. Right?
Yeah, that's when he goes and finds a signal, calls old boy again. Yeah.
And I'm gonna ask you, was there somebody in the background? I swear I rewinded that shit twice. And I swear I thought I saw somebody with like a blue jacket or something. I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just getting too much into it now. You got me into it. Like,
I was the same way after the first episode, but I know stuff. That's what I'm saying. That's what I was the same way. Like, wait, was somebody? Was that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and so then he goes back in and continues to look at the tape, and then we have. It's basically kind of like the beginning.
They continue. At first, they continue the interview. And I guess Jess is feeling better and stuff. And she says that her mom takes her to see Father Russo,
Yes, because she doesn't think it has nothing to do with medical shit.
Exactly.
And at that point,
doctors can't find nothing, so they took her to church.
Melanie, get the fuck out of there. Come on now.
And that's when she basically says, like, am I strong enough to hold a whole new world inside of me, type of thing. Oh, people think I'm weird. People at school make fun of me. And Melody's like, people used to make fun of me. Fuck them, type of thing. You know?
And then the camera and then goes to Melanie on the stairwell.
The same from the beginning. Her all
looking
scared.
for Jess, saying that they took her.
Right, they took Jess. Look for me. And then all some people are coming like, Melody, are you Melody? We need to say look like some like police or some kind of people.
Fucking Raccoon City and shit.
Then next thing you know, fucking Dan's dad.
And he freaks. He normal response. That's a normal response.
Walks into Melody like, everything's okay. You gonna come with me. You need to come with me, type of thing. And she's like, "What are you doing here?" And then by her saying that, she knew him.
Yeah,
you know.
And
so the dog makes sense and everything. So Dan just like, "What the fuck?" He's freaking out.
And then does he go outside or he's just freaking out inside? And it pans out.
And Davenport's basically got the fucking crib covered with cameras and he's watching Dan.
Man, if that's not some Black Mirror shit, I don't know what the fuck is. Because after that, I was like, oh. I didn't say, oh my God. I was like, oh. With the dad and then the pan out, I was just like, fuck. Oh. I guess I should say this. Guess what?
What?
We've passed 375 downloads.
Wow. Really?
Yes.
Damn.
Total. Thank you guys for listening. I want to surprise your ass on air to get a natural response and shit. But yeah, thank you guys for listening and
that's awesome.
Joining us on this journey of Archives 81. Not a lot of people are reviewing this, so we should definitely get a foot in. We are now on YouTube, and we will be definitely pumping out these reviews. We may even have a couple of people joining us for some future reviews, as well as reviewing The Batman next week. I'm pretty sure we're going to be excited about that shit. Probably going to have some special bat beer. I don't know. Bat beer and bat shots. I don't fucking know.
Make sure it's dark.
I know, right? We gotta take a picture and do a little recording before this shit.
The dark liquor and Guinness.
I was thinking about Guinness too. Great minds think alike. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Melvin Banks.
This is Ito.
We are the Carbonation Conversation. Thank you for listening. We love you.